me to record it. I am recording now. Okay, gentlemen, and lady, I'm starting again. So I'm emulating the transaction from our spin emulator, which is the tool that our VAR uses. I'm choosing a payment type, which would be any of those options. I'm choosing a sale, and I am going and submitting a transaction, which gets to the POS. I'm entering terminal ID or server ID. I'm choosing a default percentage. I'm doing the service fee, approving it, going and paying with my Apple Pay and not accepting any points payments, and go ahead and getting a thesis authorization, generating a QR code which I will scan to my Rewardee application, printing the receipt. The receipt clearly will show you guys, and unfortunately it's not going to get into recording, but you can see all the necessary information: base amount, tip amount, subtotal, service fee, subtotal, etc., and then the approval codes and whatever disclaimers. And then I will say, okay, go green. Well, too late. I should have acted already. I didn't act. And then what's happening is, just to show you the rewardee flag, if I wanted to actually obtain this reward, and I'm in DeNovo Demo Cafe right now. So once I'm gonna log into my rewardee, I'm gonna go to my DeNovo Demo Cafe. So I'm the consumer choosing right now to pay with this option or to redeem. If I wanted to redeem, this would be the way to redeem, just by bringing my QR code or barcode code to identify myself. And I have 257.78 points, which means dollars. But in this case, what I want to do is I want to scan, activate my scanner, and I want to bring that value into my wallet. So I just added 0.06 points to my wallet, and that's the interaction that we're expecting the consumers to do. Okay, so that's the current program. So now I've done this. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to my payment type, and I'm going to say, okay, it's time to close. So now I'm settling the transaction. Okay, so I'm settling the transaction, and I will revert back to my camera. And here's the submission of a batch request, daily batch. It's connecting, and it will upload the transaction. If this doesn't give me any grief, then I'm going to get a nice report, and I can see also my service fee totals of 0.06 cents. And as you can see, in this case, we separated the batch because we also have a cash option here, so cash acceptance, and we can also do, so actually the way we do it is we separate cash from credit cards, and it helps us in some scenarios, like in the DTI scenario where he's discounting just credit or debit and not cash, and that's how he's creating separation on his fee program. And now we are uploading all the transaction to DeNovo. Where is DeNovo? DeNovo is here. So if we're going to go to transactions and we're going to look at transactions, so this is actually the batch that I just uploaded. So I'm going to go back to DeNovo, and now we can have both screens to look at. And so what you can see now is that I have both in my mobile application and in my web server, I have a report, a settlement report, and the settlement report is basically exactly what you saw on the receipt. Same thing, I can look over here. I will be able to see my transactions. Since they were contactless, there's been no request for signature. This is the customer view, and this is the detail view. Likewise, I can open it over here, and I can look at number 1 and number 2, and you can see that all those fields are descriptors of whatever data I want to put in DeNovo. For example, in this case, there is a field called transaction fee, which you guys are interested in. So when we're going to do your program, your transaction fee will appear here on the receipt, but as you guys know, it's going to be uploaded in two separate batches. So we have to still decide if I don't remember what's the configuration, but if we can consolidate it into a single report, or we do it in two separate reports, two separate terminals, so-called. But this is what you would see. All the information, of course, truncated data, etc., etc. If you go inside, you would actually see the transaction, and you'll be able to clearly see the various fields, and in your case, the service fee, and then etc., etc. If you notice, perhaps on the batch actually gave you a total without tip and service fee total, and then the total of tip and principal without the service. So then the service is kind of exempt out of it, as the current reports that we have. So what else we have in DeNovo? As I said, we can custom the page. So over here, should we have additional field that we want to, for example, things that we want to ask the customers, prompt to the customers, or if we have invoice number, or if we have different taxes, or whatever we have, it will be able to show over here. And we can also customize the page by, adding certain configuration. And if your application will call for additional configuration, then we would add them. For example, now I added another field. So if I add another field, then there's going to be field 3 now showing here. And if there's any data in it, then it will show. As you can see, the blue are the credits, the red are the debits. If we do any voids, returns, or whatever it is, cancel batch, eliminated batches, everything will be reflected in DeNovo. And likewise, DeNovo Mobile would have the same flags and the same thing to see. There's a couple other things that it's kind of nice to see that we do. For example, when you go to messages, merchants will be able to see the various events that were called for messages, or either the terminal sent messages or the phone created a message, like the customer created a message. So for example, if we look at the last one, then this was some type of a customer service call. So looks like there was nothing much, it was just a call me we sent, but there was no information. We can also look at the event log, and the event log will give us information regarding to that particular event and what were the actual error logs, messages that were sent up and down, through that one message. Don't know why it's not showing me on this guy. So, okay, this guy will show that there's something that happens there, and then here's the event log, and if there's anything in the event, it will appear. Of course, I can go ahead and enter a text message. I can add some stuff in, and I can submit it, and that would create another event that is going to actually appear as an event in that ticket.
So, Moni, this is Dan. Quick question. I know that we're looking at, let's say, the entire DeNovo because you're the admin and you're DeNovo, and so you're looking at all of your stuff.
No. This is actually a merchant view. This is just Deja Vu Demo Cafe view.
Oh, okay. So this is okay. So you've answered my question. Every merchant will have this kind of a view, and they can customize the way that they want to see certain data elements at the merchant level. Whether we do it to help them do it, or whether they just take it on their own and figure out how to do it, they can have their own customized look and feel.
Absolutely.
By merchant ID, terminal, or whatever. Okay.
Absolutely. Cool. And by the time you're going to get your program, this whole landing screen, which is this landing screen, okay, will change. Because what we're doing here now is a complete revamp of, right now we have this data on the left side, and I'll get into this a little bit more in details right now. And we have promotions on the right side. We are reducing the amount of promotion, and we may figure out and put it some other places or temporarily shows and then go away or whatever it is, and expanding on the data in meaningful ways, in a way where if you have multiple terminal in a single location, it will give you the ability to review that the tab would actually show color-coded credit, debit, cash, gift, whatever, surcharge if you want it, could also be. There's going to be a way to click on this and move into seeing additional fees or additional tips and fees. There's going to be some type of a pie that will show the amount of sales. You can also accumulate sales over a period of time. You can do the reports on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual. You would have an accumulative report to show you how it looks today through the month, etc. And there's a bunch of other things that we do that will give more meaningful data. The most important thing that we will bring that we do not have today is the aggregation of a single terminal into a location. So if you have multiple terminals in a location, at the location level, you will see it all. And if a merchant has multiple locations, then at the merchant level, you would see all accumulative reports and all sales performance reports for all locations. Things that we simply don't have today because this product was designed on a terminal TPN level. And we are revamping it right now. And it should be done by sometime in April. Okay? So that's very meaningful because we want to give the merchants a very strong tool in his hands to distinguish its terminal, so-called, because it's not the terminal, it's the payment software that he's using, from everything else that he has, and make it equivalent to something that is more like a mobile pay, a tablet, or an Android, or if it has a payment application, etc., etc. But then do the best of the two, the security and the ease of use of the one, and versus the reporting and the comfort of using a touchscreen, etc., on the other. So let's move on down the tabs, and I'll show you in a second then what the admin look like. The loyalty is an interesting thing because you see, for example, for this particular terminal, in the loyalty sector, you'll be able to see all the users and aggregate it to a cell phone and provided all the cards that we used and how many rewards points they collected and how many total, actually, I don't remember how it does. It's rewards here and how many rewards they got and how many points they accumulated and something of that nature. So you have that ability. I mean, so here, this is the only test that I'm doing on my card. So this is why I have many rewards and I don't know why one is here. I don't know. Anyways, so that's the reward, internal reward in the terminal that we can offer. This tab would show you the services that are enabled to the terminal. So you can see that we have a new tab that is PADSS, and once it's ready, PADSS will be officially released. The merchant can decide if he wants to be assessed PADSS here, yes or no. Then, of course, we need to change passwords, access to the terminal frequently every 30 days or whatever it is. And so there's a little bit of logic. Let's not get into it right now, but this is where we're adding services and features to the terminal. Right now, we support Call Me, which is a function that, you press the key on the terminal, it sends a request and an image of the database to the help desk. You have the merchant portal, which is basically transaction upload with batch upload. You have the loyalty backup, you have auto load, you have batch notification, you have supply ordering, you have risk notification. For example, if you guys want to be told when a transaction goes over limit, while you are approving it, you want to know about it ahead of time to review the batch before it arrives to security, to risk management, then you have that. and in this case PADSS. There's going to be some others to come. Now, touching on what you said about parameters are very, very interesting because we definitely allow the merchants to, and it depends on what permission we allow them. Okay, so we allow on different application. This is the core application, DVAM as we call it, application manager. So you can set your favorite and you can change your favorite, etc. You can also change the loyalty, feature. So okay, so I'm going to put it back on. You can do a loyalty per dollar. So right now, if I push that change, then I'm going to get, let's say, 5 points, and I'm going to ask for let's say 50 points to get a reward, and the reward will be a free cafe. Okay, coffee. Okay, like that, and then I can save it. So now I pushed this change to the download system, and the download system will push it on the next communication to the terminal. But right now, from the terminal perspective, it knows the system, the download system already is notified that next time this terminal will connect, it needs to push an update, and we'll see it. And then I go to the cash application. So for example, if I want to prompt for cash or invoice or tip or whatever, I can make the changes here. This is the more important one. This is your DV credit application. This is what we're working on. So here, there's more option. There is this prompt, there is custom prompt, there is registration prompt, and we can add any prompts that we want that at the merchant level we allow them to use and change for themselves. Now, the fact that we allow it to the merchant doesn't mean they're going to use it, and second, doesn't mean that we cannot change it for them from here. So for example, if you don't want to handle our download system, but you really just want to cause changes right here, then you can actually increase the amount of things that you want to change. And not everything, but almost everything could be pushed from here to the download system. You do have the last transactions, which I showed you before. And you can see all transactions from day one. So that's going to go and go and go. And there's going to be like, who knows how many, number of screens. And finally, there is one more thing I want to show you real quick. And that is to pair the unit. Like, for example, if I wanted to check the connectivity to this particular unit, then I can actually add. Oh, I'm sorry, I touched something, but I jumped away. But I can add another connection through the proxy. Proxy is the tool that connect terminal and register. So let me go back there here. And if I go to the proxy, then that means right now it's connected. And if I wanted to add another new pair connection, then I'll open it and then I'll continue. And then I'm going to issue an authentication key, okay, which is, this is the authentication key of this particular terminal. And then I can, go ahead and select the register. And I can select, this is my register, by the way, so I can kind of play with it. And then thank you very much, Bram. See you later. And then if I save it, then I just reinitiated my own connection between the two devices. So I don't need that. I'm going to bail out of it. But I'm going to open another tab and show you that this is the actual tool. And if I'm going to look for that particular register, and I'm going to open my camera, and I'll do a test, then immediately I can check, for example, show TPN, I will show the TPN. And if I'm going to do register ID, I'm going to show the register ID. So this is 350,038. That's what we saw before. So this basically is a tool to allow us the connectivity that connects on two different subnets, a terminal with the register. This is the register in this case. This is the emulation software, is the register, and the terminal you saw. So this is the tools. Now, what else we can do? In DeNovo Mobile, we can actually go to the terminals. We can pick up, we can have as a merchant, like you, for example, in your government. Let's say that you control a government office with 30 terminals. You can go to ETA proxy, and you can actually here too have certain things that you can do. For example, I want to send a request to get customer service because I have a printer problem, and send it. So now I send a call me request from my phone to service this particular terminal, and that's all I need to know about it. And now I'm going to get a call back. Or I can put a supply order. I can go ahead and order 2 boxes of paper, 1 decal, and 1 additional power supply. You see, the call me request just arrived because I'm designed to be the administrator of the service desk. Or I am, if I'm going to be the designated supply order company, then I'm going to get that message too pretty soon. I can go into my parameters and look at my cache parameters. And if I'm allowed to change something here, I would allow to change it. I can change it. I can look at my services. I can look at my last transaction, but that you saw already, etc. So that's that. Okay. And then there's one more thing that is very interesting. I also have a wallet in DeNovo. It's called Deja Pay. And at the moment, actually, it's not connected. I'm not connected to this device. I'm connected to another device. I'm going to go to my payment setting. I'm going to switch this device with this device. And I'm going to change it to the proxy. So this is the proxy. And I am going to save it. And once this phone tab will show green, that means that I have switched my DeNovo to work on this particular terminal that is in my store. So right now it's actually ready, and I can actually submit a sale of a coffee or whatever services you guys are going to sell, check out without tip, check with a credit card. Okay, maybe I require to do additional setup that I didn't do, but yeah, okay. But from here, I will communicate to the device and send a request to the device. I did some error in my setting. But it shows you the ability to push a manual payment, just a dollar amount, for example. You're going to get the same error. Terminal not connected to spin proxy server. Okay, so basically they're not linked. And the terminal. Okay, and finally, there is another interesting option, which is we call survey questions. So for example, I can ask, if I go with Go Green, which is my electronic receipt, I can ask a question to the consumers and I can get an answer. So if I want to edit that question, for example, here, we need your feedback. I'm going to change this to give us your feedback. rate our service from rate our service. Okay, and then show the question each time the screen opens on Go Green. Do it at the receipt screen and rate from 1 to 5. So rate our service 1 through 5, 5 being the best. Okay, and save it. So now I saved the new question. I'm going to go back to my emulation tool. I'm going to bring the camera up. I'm going to change my batch to credit. I'm going to do $15. And I'm going to submit it for payment. Okay, let me just quickly get my wallet. Do I have my wallet here? Okay, sorry for the delay. And I'm going to make a payment. Okay, server ID 2. Do other percentage, 18%. Okay, with the service fee. Okay. Do not remove card. Processing. Remove card. Would you like to pay with points? I'll say no. So it's connecting. Approved. Okay, reward. Okay, sign. Printing. Digital receipt. Yes. So now we send the digital receipt. This is a bug that was corrected. It printed 2 QR code. And it's actually dumping now the points to the server. And now it's connecting to our server and it's going to send a digital receipt. So what's going to happen now is, since I am a known customer, because I remember this card in my memory, I'm getting the $18 sales in Go Green because I'm an existing customer. My consumer application is opening up and I can go into my receipts for Deja Vu Demo Cafe. And now that I'm in, or as soon as I'm going to get in, by the way, here you can see that everything was submitted. The signature is here. This is the actual emulation for the VARs. Apologize for the delay. I don't know why it takes so long here. It should be instant. Okay. Finally, we got it. Now we're opening the receipt. I have no idea why it's so slow. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi service here. Okay.
Moni, I need to jump off for 10 minutes, okay? Keep going, though.
Yeah. Okay, good. So here's the receipt. And then I guess I only told it to do it once on this receipt. And now, because it took so long, it kind of missed it. But here I'm going to rate. We care. Let us know how you did. So that's okay. And then I'm trying to see what I did wrong here. But you get the drift of what we're doing. We're creating another layer of connection to the consumer, which is not existing for the most part today in the industry. So now you're connecting You connecting to your merchant through DeNovo right here. You get all the data. The merchant can see all its data, all its transactions, but he's also connecting in a meaningful way to his consumers, where either he creates his own loyalty program within our terminal, or he can do that as well as sending the request and getting a demo application, not a demo, but rather a consumer application that allow the consumer to keep his receipt in one place, and he can see, valuable responses. I said that every time that I go into a receipt, then it's going to show it to me. So that's what it shows to me. And that reports will, when I batch this transaction, when I send it, then if I go to my merchant portal and I go to the landing screen here or here, there is an area where we can actually see all the feedbacks, and the feedback will appear in some type of a reporting format, and you can see it for a specific question, or you can see it for all questions. And that's what we're showing here. Those are pretty much all the tools that is available for DeNovo today. The last thing that perhaps I should show you is there's also an area that I think they took it off from me, but there's also an ability for the merchants that want to pay for their DeNovo services to do it through their mobile application by having a payment engine paid here that you can connect to your servers, and they will actually then connect it to your to your, let's say, EvoSnap I'm using on my case, but you can use your own payment gateway, and you can do an e-commerce solution within DeNovo, so the merchant can pay you their monthly fees for that service. Any questions so far or until now?
But as the administrators at
Uh-huh.
AMS, we would have visibility to all of this for all of our merchants, or one merchant at a time, right?
Yeah, you would have everybody. So if I go to Super and I log in as Super, now that I'm Super, I can see more. I can see invoice summaries. I can see, I can send email to my customers right from here. I have an email service that I can create some type of an email service. I can change the survey questions for each and every one of my customers. So for example, this is the last email that we send, so we can view the email and see what we send. I can get all my feedbacks. I can look at a queue if there's a queue that is accumulated. I can see my billing services. In my billing services, I can actually create some type of schemes for different services for different fees, and then I can look at payment orders if there are any, uh, which mean payment that were made and were settled. Of course, on the upper levels, of course, I can see all my merchants, and that means in this case, me as the administrator of the company, I have 10,000 screens of 50 units. So that is my
Wow.
DeNovo database at the moment, okay, right now. So if I'm just going to collect one out of the blue, I have no idea, I'll take this guy, but this guy, I think they're not using it, then I can actually, okay, there's no sunsetting, contact, go green, I can enable for all terminals, for example. I can look at a particular terminal. So I'll go at Sharon Johnson, and then I can actually see what services she has, what she doesn't have, etc., what subscription she's using, etc. So then I can look at all my locations. So you can see all your locations. That could be different locations. Or if I can look, I'm going to look for Deja Vu because I know I have my own company. So let's see if I can find some Deja Vu there. Okay, so I'm going to look at DeNovo Production. I think that's my account. So DeNovo Production is my account. Let me see here which terminal I'm using. No, it's not DeNovo Production. It's DeNovo System, maybe as a merchant. Yes, DeNovo Live. So DeNovo Live, this is my account. So if I want to look at my last transactions, so this is my account. This is what I charged in the last, few days. So if I want to go and see my particular, let's say today, what they did, so I know that we got this sales, right? Whatever. And that you can see for all your merchants and everything, and you can look at each and every one of them, and you can see what was done, etc., etc. And what's nice about this, guys, is that I know you cannot visualize it right now, but when you go here and we go to merchants and we can see a particular merchant, then to have these reports and the aggregation of terminals aggregated to a single location aggregates to a single merchant, and we don't have a merchant aggregation to ISO because I figured that that's what you get from your host and your back office and whatever. We can discuss this, but this is at this point we are tailoring mostly to the merchant level. But theoretically speaking, you could have gotten, and maybe we'll get there if you're interested, we'll discuss, but I can get all your DeNovo terminals to report to you just the same way a merchant's getting a report from all its terminals from all its locations. As far as sales, refunds, type of payment, fees, service and tips, etc., etc., etc. So it's worth $295, huh?
It's not my 295, so yeah, I can't comment on that. I mean, it looks like a very powerful tool.
It is actually, and it's improving every time because I am pushing quite a bit to make it better and better at all times.
Mitch, do you have any questions?
Not at this point. Good overview. Yeah, I'm here.
I mean, as an overview, I mean, this would give you a pretty good indication to, what is that we do.
Is there a place in here, or is that done elsewhere, where we would manage the service fee settings, or is that still at the merchant level?
Yes, actually, it's not here. It's actually in the. Okay, so let me go quickly there. I think I can do it. Interesting to show you something interesting. Let me go to transactions, and let me go into this guy. And let me go to services and messages. And let's pick up just a message, doesn't matter. Let's pick up this guy. And the way to do it is actually, I'm sorry, best is to see it here. Here's the call me message. So when I get a call me message, the call me message is what my guys are getting. Okay, this is what my support is getting. So it says, okay, Moni with proxy demo has a problem, and the problem is printer problem, remember? So the customer service guy is clicking on ETA proxy, which is my terminal, takes him right away into my download system and take him right away into my company. So it will right away go into my company. So in my company, he would actually go, and the way to manage the fees to your merchant is right here. If you click on, let me just see for a second, ETA proxy, and you click over here, I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly where it is, but in here there's a way to set up all the fees for the services that we provide, and I just don't remember what the button to click here. I think it's an edit. Maybe it's here. Edit. Yeah, it's right here. So here we go. So I'm editing. Okay, that's the admin company. I should be very careful because I shouldn't touch anything. But what's important is you see the Deja Vu managed services. So here you have all the services, and then you basically, hello, and then here you actually choose what services you want and how much you want to charge for each service, or if you want to do it as a bundle, and or billing per transaction, and what's the billing cycle, and et cetera, or whatever it is. And once you finish it, you save it, and when you save it, you also set all the other products that you want to sell as a company. What's the prices for boxes of paper, et cetera, et cetera. What's the call me hours and where to direct what email at any time, et cetera. So all of this information, and then when you press update, that actually become the scheme for the billing. And what's happened is that if I go back one and I go here to invoices, these are invoices, then I can see, for example, that we've generated to Fat Merchant a bill of 170 whatever, and so I'm going to open it. And this was the bill that we've charged to Fat Merchant, for example.
Okay, how does this? This is Terry Money. How does this interface with Steam, which we've not been trained on before?
This is Steam.
Where you would set most of those fees?
Yes, this is Steam. You are now in Steam. When I moved,
this is Steam. Okay.
Now we're in Steam. You see, this is MMSX, Secure Estate and Management, whatever. So now what we've done, we pushed from the merchant portal where we had a call me, or actually from my email where I had a call me. I clicked the link that took me right into Steam.
Okay, I didn't see the transition. So
it's okay, and that was the transition. Yeah. In here, I would get directly to the profile of the TPN, but then I went to the admin because I wanted to show you, by the way, here you can see all the permissions to who's allowed to get into Steam and do what they need to do, and all the users, and the user for DeNovo, and the call me, what's pending, what's not pending. For example, this is the last one, etc. And then you can see the invoices that we're creating for DeNovo to our merchants. In this case, it's I'm creating to my merchants, but this is, whatever, etc., etc. So it's all connected to each other. And you don't need to own or host any of it because we're hosting it for you.
And this is not an interface that the merchant would have. This would just be at the reseller.
Absolutely. All the merchant sees is, at best, he gets its application, which is here. And he gets this beautiful thing daily when he gets into his tools and he gets into his transactions and he see what he sees. If you want to use his consumers, if he's providing Go Green, then you got the Go Green, and then in Go Green they can go into, and the consumers can see his receipts. Okay, that's good. And then DeNovo services, the two Steam services that we allow is auto update. So maybe the last thing we're gonna do for the day is we're gonna go ahead and go back to the emulation software. We're gonna close the batch. To close this, we're gonna close the batch. We'll submit the batch close. It's gonna go settle daily batch. Close. Amitush, quickly, I need you to bring my power supply and connect me. Power supply is right in one of those pouches here. It's what I know. Go ahead. Okay, and now digital receipt is sent. Okay, I got it. Okay, 1 second. Check if this one. No, it's this one. It's this one. Open this one. Okay, and now it's processing the alerts. Go ahead, open it quickly. Okay, and I don't know what it did or didn't do. I don't know if it did an update. Did you see if it actually was causing an update? Anyway, it was supposed to do an auto update if it pushed my changes to the terminal. And so that's the cycle. All the pieces, all the terminals are connected to our logic, and each system is connected to the other system, and the merchant basically has a very simple configuration, and that's it.
Very good.
Okay, I'm sorry that it wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be because of my disorganization here, but at the end of the day, I mean, you would see these transactions, and this should be showing here. What? Oh, it doesn't plug in. 1 second. Uh-oh. Maybe it's the coffee that we spilled. No, it is working. It's fine. It's loading. Thank you. It's all good.
Okay, well,
So,
Moni, I appreciate you taking the time to have this call with us today. There are only going to be probably 300 to 500 questions coming out of this, but it gave a good overview.
That's okay. So we will find some time, and we'll go maybe a little bit slower next time. And me or Chris can definitely get you through the motions, and I'll be a little bit less disturbed. I think we're gonna be able to do even a better job.
Well, at least now we know the questions to ask, I think.
Okay, perfect. So I'll send you this recording shortly I'm gonna convert it and send it to all of you guys.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
Moni.
Have a safe trip.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Moni.
One quick question. Is there a demo login that we could share that we can kind of go in and kind of play around with this to kind of help come up with really good questions?
I'm going to ask Chris or Lori to help me and set you up with the demo account and everything that you need.
Perfect.
Okay, and either today or tomorrow, I will go ahead and send it to all of you.